If you took every KKK member, neo-Nazi in the United States, and put them in a very small theater in a small town, it wouldn't fill it. If you listen to the media or read the media, you would think that your neighbors were all Nazis and you're the only one that's not, right? Because we saw this start with the Trump election. We saw when he was running that the left started right away on this Hitler thing. Well, remember, who's really offended by Hitler and Nazis are the Jews. And then we saw them poking their head out because the Zionists control the media here. Face it, people. The Zionists do control all the media and Hollywood, all of it. So the only thing they don't control yet is the social media and YouTube. Well, they do control social media. I take that back because they are controlling social media. And they did through the election. We saw that. They only would allow pro-Hillary things going on Facebook, and they wouldn't put the share button on pro-Trump stuff. Facebook. Twitter was closing accounts when Clint Eastwood congratulated Trump on winning. They shut his account down. I mean, it was just pathetic. So, yeah, they do control social media. Go look and see who the CEOs are of all of the social media. Go for it. Go ahead. I dare you to pay attention to who they are. They're not Muslim. There you go. ADL is labeling people that I have free speech, and we still have it so far, but not for long in this country. It is a right of all Americans to think and speak the way you want to. Okay? And remember, flag burning for the left is free speech. So is many other things in this country considered free speech. Burning the American flag, free speech, let it happen. Okay, I tried burning a Mexican flag, probably won't be free speech anymore, I guess.
Destroying
How about an Israeli flag?
Destroying history and all of its implications. That's free speech on the left.
Right.
You try that on the right.
Pull down a Martin Luther King statue. Go ahead, I dare you. See what happens to you. But you can take down any Confederate monument, and they're doing it in the middle of the night. We have a friend right now that's in was it South Carolina? We got a text from a friend, and what town was he in? I forgot.
Oh boy, I'm trying to think where that.
They
was.
took down monuments anyway in the middle of the night.
Oh no, it was in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, okay, Charlotte, North Carolina. So yeah, the mayor and the governors and these people in the middle of the night.
I think it was also Baltimore. Baltimore is the one who's afraid of the riots, and they're the ones that took down the Confederate statues in the middle of the night, 1 a.m.
Yeah, it's really crazy. So I just want to refer you guys back to last week's PayPal Patriots. I forgot the rest of the title, but where we talked about some interesting things that we had seen and that we know of and that we've been informed of. And one of those was how many of these people that call themselves patriots have actually been hired by the FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation. You wouldn't think if they're into investigating that they would hire that, but we all know that they have what's called confidential informants. Well, lo and behold, I actually got contacted by both lunatics on the left and lunatics on the right making threats. How dare me use my freedom of speech, because they're both pro-free speech and pro-constitution and threatening me for speaking and using mine. How about that? I thought that was just totally fascinating.
And they called me a hick.
And they called you a hick, yeah. So, Hick's calling you a hick. Well, they just don't know about all your education, so they think you're a hick. And we can do our show and talk like that, I guess. Okay, here's the deal. What we were pointing out, and this is the chord that got struck, and I would be willing to bet that the people that did threaten me on the left and the right are included in this. This is an exclusive from the True Pundit, and I guess you could call it a blog. FBI admits federal informants are linked to the deadly Charlottesville riots. Unlikely to face charges. Here you go. What did we say to you? The PayPal Patriots that showed up out of nowhere after 18 months to support something going on in Las Vegas. And also, we said the left and the right are infiltrated. We know for a fact that the NGOs, the non-governmental organizations that are supported by George Soros, are doing this. Now, if you haven't had an opportunity to watch Ukraine on Fire by Oliver Stone, it's on Hulu. It's on, I think even YouTube has it for free. It's on
Amazon
Prime. And it's free, I think, right? On Amazon Prime if you're an Amazon Prime person. Watch it because you're going to see what's happening. Now, keep this headline in mind. FBI admits federal informants linked to deadly Charlottesville riots, unlikely to face charges. FBI insiders have said it is unlikely that leaders of the radical groups that clashed in demonstrations turned deadly in Charlottesville, Virginia, will face prosecution. Why? The FBI said they have already identified several federal informants who participated in the mob-like riots over the weekend in Virginia. The FBI is also now working those sources to piece together the events from Charlottesville. But FBI agents have deemed the newly minted investigation dicey. Yeah, I guess it is, because having to navigate separate agreements with embedded intelligence assets, i.e. confidential informants, while trying to pinpoint responsibility for the violence on somebody that's not on their payroll. It's a dicey situation. Late on Saturday, the Justice Department announced the federal probe. The investigation, spearheaded by the Richmond, Virginia FBI field office, was launched after an Ohio man drove his car through a crowd of demonstrators, killing one woman and injuring dozens. The FBI has intel assets implanted in several white supremacy sects, also in the militias, as well as the radical Antifa group on the left.
Now, keep in mind,
and the BLM.
Keep in mind that these paid informants are paid based on the information that they provide the FBI. So if you are a confidential informant, what are you going to do? You're going to provide information, whether it's true or whether it's not.
Yeah,
because that's how you gain credibility with them. And having credibility with the FBI then allows you to move forward and allows them to pay you to travel all over the country and do whatever it is basically that you want to do, as long as you're giving them and feeding them back information that they either can or cannot use.
Now, here's another thing. Let me finish reading this article, and we're going to get into a big discussion about this, because the fact that both sides contacted me and felt threatened by me exposing the fact that they are FBI informants, and this is backing what I said. The FBI sources said it is unlikely an asset, confidential informant, would be charged for stoking violence in Virginia if, for instance, that asset had or was providing valuable information on another domestic terrorism case. We wouldn't do a solid informant for this, the FBI insider said. The word do here pertains to indict. Federal law enforcement sources said that attitude would be different if the two Virginia State Police troopers who died were killed as a part of the demonstrations. The troopers were perished after they lost control of their state police helicopter, which was leaving Charlottesville, according to the NTSB records. So, in other words, if they could have just blamed that, somebody would have shot it down or something like that, it would have been much better for the FBI. One FBI insider said the Bureau is somewhat handcuffed in an investigation like this. This is Charlottesville. How can you charge someone who might be linked, the FBI insider asked, when you've been paying them for months or longer?